that Capitalist actually called this Enigma pick.
I did. You said, no way. Enigma, trash hero. The only person who could possibly play Enigma right now is my brother, Rudy. Who did recently win an Enigma game, I believe, for Arkosh Gaming when they needed it most.
In the deepest, darkest depths of North American Division 2 Dota.
Yeah, those are some real dark depths, let me tell you.
I mean, I think that it was a nice Mars game on paper. The issue with it was probably just the Undying and the Death Prophet. Like, it's probably a really big issue, but, I mean, you have to protect your Phoenix egg, right?
For you guys at home, Effie was screaming for Mars. She was like, see, they picked the Phoenix. I told you this hero is super legit. And I'm holding my hands up going like, no, I know, like, I agree. I think it's underpicked right now. And she's like, now they're going to pick Mars. Pick Mars, goddammit. Pick Mars. And they didn't. Why didn't they pick Mars?
Because Mars got banned.
Well,
they were actually, I'm pretty sure they were debating it because of how how bad his lane would have been, right? Undying on one lane, DP on another. Like, where do you put your Mars, basically? And you're not flexing your Mars to mid because Lina, it's a rough time for that guy.
And that's where the Enigma call came out from us, right? We were trying to brainstorm what can they pick that wasn't going to be Axe or Mars that gets countered by this Undying lane, because lanes seem to be super important for Quincy crew here. I mean, they picked a Troll and Undying. I feel like when you pick that duo, you're saying, like, we are trying to win lanes right here.
Yeah. I mean, they picked this Troll for obvious reasons, I thought. But, I mean, people didn't agree with it, but the issue is that you're playing Lina versus Storm, and there is going to be a Storm zipping in on Lina to protect the egg. And obviously, at some point, there's going to be a BKB, but you can't assume that your Lina will be able to kill Phoenix every time, so you have to have an alternate source or an alternate means to kill the Phoenix in your safe lane. And Ursa wouldn't have been the best option because they didn't have the last pick there.
Right. Same goes with other heroes like, what, Jug or something like that. Other ranged heroes probably don't feel very good in this game, like Drow, Luna.
And Troll's really solid, and this last pick, Enigma, was a little bit of a surprise, I'm sure, to Quincy crew. But of all the heroes that you want to put versus Eidolons, Troll is very happy to just axe them and fight them. And the way that you deal with Eidolons early on is you just kill them before they multiply. If you can do that a few times, a lot of Enigma's laning threat does go down.
Yeah, you get some bonus golden experience out of it as the carry.
Although, it's not going to be the easiest game for Enigma after the laning stage because he is dealing with a Boundless Strike from Monkey King and a Silence from Death Prophet and the Light Strike away from Lina, but once he gets that BKB, it should be smooth sailing in terms of black holes. There's no cancel. There's no BKB piercing cancels.
Right.
It should be simple.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of a question in many ways of whether or not TSM FTX can hit those big team fight spells before the BKB and win some of those fights, and if they could just stall out long enough to get there.
This is a very Tundra-esque offlane coming out of Quincy crew in the DP Monkey King. I just think these two heroes synergize with each other so well.
Yeah.
You've got the Monkey King just able to slow and stun, so the DP can just have a nice lane and maximize damage. But also, when Kazu finally gets his exorcism up, you have the Monkey King who's going to be able to jump on the tree lines and scout for any kind of TP rotations to defend the tower. So it's just a really nice added bonus for Death Prophet. And I haven't been able to watch a lot of Quincy crew this season, but I like a lot of the ideas that they approach in their drafts. Yeah,
and they seem to have come into this final series of theirs very prepared. And let's just reiterate what the consequences are for this series. If TSM FTX win it, then they will be #1 in North America. If Quincy crew win it, then they will force a 3-way tie, and we will have to play that tiebreaker out sometime tomorrow or the next day. Most likely Friday is what I'm hearing. So we've already done a 3-way tiebreaker once before. That was the very first season of last year. These 3 teams ended up in that same situation, which I believe Quincy came out on top. TSM, oh no. Beats away the first blood because the damage timer still hadn't ticked away yet, so.
Yeah, he messed up that timing a little bit. I do like that Ponlo zoned out Phoenix from the lane, and it chased him away right so Phoenix can't annoy the Troll because Fire Spirits are very frustrating to play against in the early levels.
Let's talk about that Phoenix, because you have been vying for this hero. You're saying Phoenix is underpicked. Why aren't more people picking Phoenix? So preach to me about Phoenix.
This hero is the future, the past, the present. No, Sunray. Seriously,
Okay.
just
That's it? Just Sunray?
Yeah, just Sunray, Spirit Vessel. Like, if you look at the heroes that are really good in the meta right now, like Death Prophet, like Tiny, like Monkey King, like Chaos Knight, like all of these tank Necro, don't even forget
Sure,
that guy. That
yeah.
guy sucks. If you just press Sunray on those heroes, they die.
Right.
The issue with Phoenix though is that you have to set up Phoenix for a good lane by having a strong laning partner such as Enigma, because he isn't the best laner.
Bryle gets caught by the rotation. It looks like, once again, Quincy crew are going to be putting a heavy presence of their 2 supports into that mid lane to secure these water runes and power runes and perhaps get a gank off or 2. But there's also the Phoenix that we had the change to cooldown, right, on the Fire Spirit. So it feels like that ability is a little bit more viable as well, right?
It's nice. You have permanent uptime. It's a 20-second cooldown. You can, in theory, just clear a wave with 2 Fire Spirits in the melee, 2 on the range, stay in the trees in a distance, and then your spirits will be up for next wave. And also, you can use them to farm now because you can TP into a fight and still have them available to you. Whereas before, you had to be more stingy with your use of it. That's not the case anymore. I just really think the issue with this hero is the weakness on lane. The first couple of levels is very easily exploitable, which is why a lot of teams have opted away from him. But, I mean, if you can get, like, in these typical Phoenix combos, like Mars or even Enigma in this case, if you get the Supernova off, it's just a really easy way to turn the tides of a fight.
Yeah. And it seems like this Enigma has kind of... I mean, this was supposed to be a really strong lane, right? Undying plus Troll. I would say those are 2 of the stronger laners out there right now. And they had a Phoenix. So it just looked like this bottom lane was going to be disaster. Quinn picks up a big kill on Bryle. Solo at that.
That Storm is struggling. He's level 5 versus a level 7 Lina right now. That rotation early on really screwed him.
Who sweeps right on by Moon Meander with a drive-by kill on Ponlo, who did throw out the tombstone in a desperate attempt to be able to keep that fight going.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn is just popping off again. He's so ahead of this Storm right now. But the saving grace of this all is Enigma's having a grand old time in the bot lane.
Yep.
Sitting on 37 last hits, 18 denies.
Oh, just a straight up black hole. Did he get the right read? It looks like it. These Eidolons that have already split do so much damage. Added up, and wasn't level 6 yet. So, damn, you are beneath me, he says.
Enigma has the best all chat voice lines in the game.
Yeah, what else does he have?
They're really good.
Have anything else?
There's that one, you were beneath me, and something about the void and death and whatnot. There's just a lot of them.
That sounds...
It sounds
like a very appealing for a metal fan like you, yeah.
Yeah, they're very tilting. That's very important when you think about voice lines, Cap.
Yeah, that's true. That's the OG line of thought anyway.
But Enigma's off to a really great start, and he's queued up for the Midas. Already has his arcane boots, and you know it's just going to be... If Enigma gets to the point of Blink, BKB, and Refresher, like we talked about, Quincy crew don't have a BKB piercing disable. It's going to be terrifying playing around this Enigma. And because the Enigma is so strong, by extension, so is the Phoenix.
Right. Yeah, as we're going to see that combination probably at least once. Black hole being used to protect Supernova. Kezu, first exorcism out, and very likely the first tower down. That's how the ghosts work now. A bajillion damage.
Quincy crew positioned so nicely. Quinn just walked into the jungle with his DD, cleared 3 of the camps. Monkey King was sitting up on a tree scouting for any kind of potential rotations and just revealed the supports there. And they just took away this entire top area from TSM. But the trade-off is Enigma did get this bottom tower. They TP Tomato as well.
Yeah, Tomato no longer wanting to play that top part of the map. Moon Meander will gladly take whatever scraps of experience wander into the tier 2 tower so he can get a faster level 6.
Checking up on Storm, he just finished his 3rd null talisman, and it's a far cry from the Storm we saw last game, who had 8 minutes, had 3 nulls and power treads. But that early rotation on the Storm Spirit really was a thorn in his side because it led up to the extra experience on Lina, got a solo kill on him later, and then they just denied his jungle entirely from him.
They do know the Monkey King is somewhat around here because of that high ground ward they have, but Milan is careful enough. I think that this matchup is always kind of interesting. Quinn versus Bryle. Quinn sort of like the de facto #1 North American mid laner, just purely on laning aspect, I think. I'm not saying he's the #1 mid in all around, but in North America, I think he's the best laner. And Bryle has had to play against him so many times. And let me tell you, from all the times that I've watched it, and all of the in-house leagues, Bryle has always been kind of secondary to Quinn in that regard. But he's been, I think, getting closer and closer to Quinn's level every year.
I think so too, and I didn't get to watch a lot of North America this tour because I was mostly working the EU games, but I did work the NA regional finals for the end of the last tour, and Bryle impressed me so much with the way that he played. He was just on point with his rotations, on point with his laning, his itemizations. Everything looked so good.
Yeah.
So he has been one of the players who's shown the most improvement in the last year. Easily. And did Saberlight finish the Midas? He's so rich, dude.
He is incredibly rich.
This is
still behind Quinn, surprisingly, but very rich.
It's really scary because I know we've talked about the Enigma a lot, but this hero is a menace if he gets the Blink BKB. Because it's not just that, okay, he can win a team fight with it, but you don't know if he's staying off map, you don't know where he is, and you don't know what kind of fights you can take. And if you're a draft like Quincy Crew and you want to play with the Exorcism and the Tombstone, and you want to kind of push your advantage, but you don't see the Enigma, it kind of hinders you in the way that you would have typically approached the map in a different kind of game.
Eidolon's just kind of scouting things out. They won't know about Kezu and Milan, who are currently smoking over to this side of the map, looking to be able to kill this Enigma. They get him with the Spirit Siphon, doesn't slow him down for much. They need the stun to come in, and the Monkey King is finally there. Saberlight is certainly dead. He's going to get burned down. But the cut tree of the Midnight Pulse makes sure that he can't actually look for more. So Tomato will get back, but still, they do get the bounty they were searching for in Quincy Crew.
Yep, they traded the Exorcism, of course, for the Rupture and the Enigma kill, so I would say that Quincy Crew came out on top there, only because they're also slowing down the pace this Enigma has been farming. It was just getting out of control, so it was a much-needed rotation, although they're not going to get much out of the Exorcism after this. They're not going to be able to get that bottom tier winning time.
Yeah, and I guess an interesting point is, like, how much are they really going to shut this Enigma down, who already has the Midas complete? So that'll delay the Blink Dagger, but it is inevitable. Enigma will get there eventually.
And meanwhile, Troll has been farming slowly but steadily in the jungle. He's working on his Battle Fury, but his laning phase was so difficult that he's still behind the Bloodseeker, who lost his tower early and had to leave lane.
It would be even more difficult if he got ganked here by this smoke. Looking, but looks like the Troll finished up that creep wave just in time, and instead it's Ponlo. TSM FTX, not the hero they wanted by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the only opportunity they saw.
Nice little enfeeble from Dubu as well, just making sure that he doesn't do some kind of miraculous soul rip.
Yeah, it's a good call. Quinn is just farming away. Early Boots of Travel is going to go for a fast BKB. So with that, there's still some spells he'll have to worry about. Fiend's Grip and Rupture being the most notable ones, perhaps the Black Hole. But it will be hard for TSM to be able to bring him down. A sweep through from Moonmeander trying to catch the Monkey King. Crash the tree that he was on.
No Exorcism on the DP, so I mean, in theory, TSM could push for more right now, but they could also just opt to play it a little safer and farm up, because they are actually out-farming Quincy Crew at the moment, even though the Lina is just doing so well. The Troll is doing so poorly.
Yeah, he really is. Suffering out there. Lowest net worth core in the game. Tomato, not faring that much better, but the early Maelstrom has allowed him to pick things up a little bit better. Quincy Crew, 3-man smoke up here. So they're going to try and clear out this jungle area once again, and maybe they can find the Enigma for a second time, but you could see Saberlight's being a lot more cautious than he was prior. Nobody, absolutely nobody besides Quinn's Lina is showing on the map right now, and he's very aggressively pushing in this bottom lane, so Saberlight definitely feels like something's up here. Mid lane, mid tower being hit for free and nobody cleaning that up, that's always a clear warning sign.
That is very suspicious. Quinn is 400 gold away. Where is he? 400 gold away from his BKB, which is going to be a massive timing because he can confidently kill the egg.
They're going to try and help Quinn out here, and he does get some distance away. That tombstone causes a bit of havoc, enough to be able to distract TSM FTX. Ponlo is going to try and go for a desperate TP away, but the damage is too quick for him to get out alive. Still, though, he saves his Lina. That's the important part.
Yeah, they got him in the last tick of the TP, but it looks like Kazu might actually get this mid tower with Exorcism. Also, Quinn probably is just going to finish his BKB, take the next fight. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get the Rupture off on the Lina. She just kind of ran away.
Yeah, I mean, it was a massive opportunity right there for sure, but it seems like Tomato was just a little bit too late to the party. Kezu not quite finishing up that mid tower. The last little bit of Ghost won't be able to do it. Seems like second item BKB for him as well. So Quincy crew, they're going to hit this really, really big mid-game timing with both their cores going for a relatively fast BKB.
Yep. TSM haven't really been in a position to be super proactive. They've just kind of been playing their side of the river because they still need to farm up their BKB on Tomato. They still need their Blink on Enigma because he did go Midas first. And they can't make any aggressive plays without it yet. And Moon Meander's also finishing the Vessel on Phoenix, which all of these things in theory will make for a great team fight. But the BKB on Quinn will be ready. And I think this Lina might just hit this moment where the egg is dead. If she's not caught in the black hole, she can just kind of kill the team even while they're on the black hole. So it could be dangerous here.
It's interesting that Quincy crew is still ahead in net worth despite the fact that they have a minus on Saberlight. They have they've stacked more on the side of TSM FTX. So I guess a lot of that gold just simply comes from the fact that Quinn's just farming a lot more lane creeps than TSM FTX has managed to get.
I think Quinn just is farming way too quickly. I did mention that TSM were out farming Quincy crew, and by that I meant that the cores on TSM are the farm is more evenly distributed and it's going better, whereas most of the net worth right now is on the Lina, which honestly can be great because that early BKB is going to be very annoying. But in the case that Quinn does misstep a little bit and die, it's going to give away so much because your troll is not strong yet.
Yeah, and Lina, I mean, we've seen Lina, there was that change to the Fiery Soul, but she can still be quite the carry, quite the damage dealer with all that attack speed that she gets. People still have been building into a physical damage build at some point in time. Ponlo gonna be caught here. The rest of his team is nearby, but it doesn't seem like they are too eager to take a team fight that is clearly under vision of TSM FTX. They've got that high ground ward there.
If any hero is just stepping out of position a little bit, they'll just die so quickly with that Vessel, the Sunray, the Vortex. Feels like Ponlo might end up being a little bit of a punching bag this game, which happens naturally when you're undying and your team's playing the farm game.
Yeah. There's going to be quite the big difference in the impact of the supports possibly in this game, because this Phoenix, with the change of the Fire Spirits, you can actually farm a lot better on Phoenix, and obviously Monkey King and Undying don't really do a whole lot of that. So again, the impact coming from this off lane, both the 3 and 4 position, is going to be super important for TSM FTX going late.
And Troll is finally online with his Battle Fury treads. He's already got the Ogre Club for his BKB, and he should accelerate. Oh, they're going for a rush. This is a great play, actually. It's their vision.
Yeah, so much of TSM FTX has been playing for that bottom part of the map. They do manage to cut down the tree of Milan, so he may be a victim here. Fast pickoff, but that trade-off is them not getting into the pit, at least maybe not fast enough. They spot it now. The tombstone's already out. They don't want to walk into that one, that's for certain. Moon Meander's awkward position here. Silence up, can't get off the Supernova, and even if he did, it was going to die right away. Oh, no, Tomato's come in, and the missed black hole! He doesn't catch Quinn. Quinn turns around and stuns him up, and Saberlight falls. The first black hole, or second black hole of the game, rather. The first team fight one goes awfully terribly for TSM FTX.
Yeah, perhaps Saberlight thought that if he got the Lina in the black hole, it would just be worth it to die there, just get the Aegis threat out of the way, but boy, it did not go well. And honestly, Milan kind of gave his life, but he stalled them fast enough for Quinn and Kezu to finish off the rush. And now that Lina has this Aegis, she's so powerful. She's like a machine gun hitting that tower.
They're actually gonna TP in here. I'm not sure if they really want to challenge this Aegis Lina. Maybe they feel like there's some heroes missing here. Maybe they can keep this tier 2 alive. Quincy Crew's not actually gonna force it.
I mean, it's not a bad call to relax a bit, wait for your exorcism. No need to take any unnecessary risks, or at least wait for a hero to be scouted out before you commit to that tier 2.
Sure. Yeah, they're probably not feeling too bad about the game after that last team fight.
By the way, in theory, even if Enigma gets the BKB, and this Lina just gets really strong, and he doesn't have an Aeon disc, and Lina gets, let's say, a Daedalus, or Silver Edge or something,
yeah,
she can kill the Enigma if he doesn't have a shard. Like, she outranges the black hole, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But if Enigma has a shard, then she kind of gets sucked in the little shard AoE, and it gets scarier to play around.
Yeah, you have to like right-click him a couple times, then back away. Right-click him a couple times, it'd just be too annoying, perhaps. As the tier 2 is going to fall eventually. TSM FTX did what they could to slow it down, while the rest of their heroes are farming away because they are approaching some important timings. Storm Spirit has the BKB, and the Enigma is halfway there. So TSM FTX, I imagine, maybe they think they can get this fast pickup on Quinn, maybe kill him twice. Reminder, he does have the BKB on the second life, and he does have some supports around. Milan's going to be chased out of the Wukong's man, goes for a TP out. Bryle, nice timing there, dodges the stun. Moonmeander forced to use the Supernova as Ponlo threatens his life, and Ponlo is very, very dead.
Yeah, Ponlo did get this D ward. It was on that tiny little nook. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
where the cliff is.
The left,
so Bryle did know that the Lina was pretty much, like, they had the 3 or 4 seconds needed to kill her with that zip because supports were busy dewarding, and they just didn't hesitate. They went for it.
Wind Waker pickup, so that is Kezu trying to figure out, okay, we're going to have to deal with a BKB black hole eventually. How do we address this? And Wind Waker is one of the newer options against this hero.
Yeah, it's an expensive option, but he's got the BKB up, and I mean, you do have to consider this Enigma because he was their last pick. He is, in theory, their win condition when he gets his item timings. So if you're in advance preparing for a situation where maybe you lose a team fight and Enigma becomes really farmed.
Or they spot Quinn. Are they going to be able to kill him here? The Fiend's Grip. Ponlo, he doesn't have a stun to stop this. He tries to throw out heals he can, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. They lose their biggest net worth hero and their 5 position, and now maybe even Kezu as well, who's ruptured up. He's going to pop the BKB, Spirit Siphon who he can, and Tomato's got to be a little bit careful approaching this Death Prophet. Now that the Rupture's gone, Tomato actually forced into a BKB. The Ghosts are still chasing after him even, so it's a good thing he's got that extra bit of movement speed to get out of there.
Beautiful by TSM, like just excellent Fiend's Grip on the Lina, but also Sunray. Best skill in Dota. Just how value that Sunray was. Not only did it kill Lina, but at the same time, it killed Undying. What more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for? I feel like
look, look at that. It's the future. Like
it's the future? What are you representing, the Phoenix lobby? What?
Yeah, I'm just trying to advocate for this hero.
I see.
Yeah, what other support hero can press one spell and kill 2 heroes? Answer that question, Cal.
I think there is a number of them.
Such as? Witch
Lion
Doctor,
with an
Pistol
Aghanim
Maiden,
Scepter. Lion
with an Aghanim Scepter, Dark Willow with 2 supports stuck right next to each other. Okay, never mind. But what support does it in such a stylish fashion?
That's true. It is very bright and sparkly. And I think more importantly, what supports do percentage-based damage? There's not too many of them in the game, and a lot of them hard to be able to land. Sunray, super easy.
Dude, I remember a time last DPC, not last DPC, last year in the DPC, before the major, where Chinese teams were playing support Timbersaw. That happened a couple of times.
Yeah, that did.
They actually won 1 game with it. It was very strange. I think what happened was they ended up relegating the Timbersaw, and they just...
Oh, Kezu steps a little far forward here. He does have the BKB and Spirit Siphon, so it's hard for them to attack him, especially with that Undying right behind him. It's Soul Rip. Did so much there. In fact, was it just the Soul Rip, or did he also have... Yeah, he threw out the Holy Locket heal as well. Yes. You just looked at me. Are you just thinking about Phoenix right now? Am I talking about Undying? Am I talking about the wrong support? Is that what's going on?
My brain was stuck in the reminiscence of last year's DPC, but they would pick like support Timbersaw, get Whirling Death level 1, and just press Whirling Death on like spends and stuff on lane.
Yeah, just chase after them.
Yeah, it was an interesting concept of the hero. I was just thinking of what supports could potentially do percentage-based damage. But
damn, Effie, did you see that damage dealt? What support could do that, huh?
This one right here, the Firebird. What? What?
I was going to move your microphone closer just because you're cutting out a little bit. But yeah,
okay.
Phoenix.
Thank you.
Same net worth, or same damage dealt as the Storm Spirit. BKB is here. 10 gold. We've been talking about it for a long time because there hasn't been, like, honestly, a ton of action. Both teams seem very comfortable just farming away. It doesn't feel like there's like a ton of urgency. Like, oh, guys, we got to start getting some of these tier 2s. We got to shut down the map. So it's finally here. So TSM FTX, let's see what their first move is with this big item.
But also the Troll finished his BKB as well and is working on his Basher. I imagine that even in Abyssal Blade, this game could be such high value if you could just jump Enigma or the Storm. Also, Kezu opted to go Blink Dagger instead of Wind Waker. Can kind of understand why. You want to just be able to get in the middle of it. If your Monkey King sets up a good fight for you, you kind of have to be the one to just go in first, because your Lena's not going to show herself by nature of the fear of getting block hold.
Sure.
Because she's the biggest threat to Phoenix at the moment, and your Troll doesn't want to show himself and get ruptured. So it has to be you. You have to blink in. You have to tank the rupture so that the rest of your team can play.
I don't know if we talked about it, but there's a cool bit of synergy with the Enigma and Bloodseeker. Now that they changed Midnight Pulse to be based off of current HP, and it does more than it used to because it's not max HP, it means it does damage faster, gets people lower faster, which obviously Bloodseeker, he's a big fan of that. Will be able to get maxed thirst a little bit faster. Yeah?
Cap. What other support does percentage-based damage?
Enigma, yeah. They've got both of them.
Yeah, he also does that. I mean, he's a core in this game, but there's your answer.
And they also did that for Game 1 as well, right? That time out of the cores, but they did Life Break plus Reaper Scythe. So, seems like maybe, I'm sure it's not like a huge part of their draft, but it does seem to be something that TSM FTX is playing around with a little bit. Because Hanlo is going to play around and die here. Okay. Sound's going to wear out eventually, but the kill in return is massive. Being able to kill Bryle, now that Blink Dagger comes into play, chasing down the Bane. Immediately putting pressure on Saberlight as well, making sure he doesn't get an opportunity to respond with a Blink Black Hole. So Quincy crew, their bit of aggression and Pondo's sacrifice wins another nice fight for them.
And beautiful bash coming out of the Troll Warlord. That bash just really came in clutch. Just got it, and boom, you get it on the Storm. David tries to force stop him away, but how do you save him at this point? Wait. Look. Bash!
Oh. Perfect timing bash. And the defensive force staff was a good attempt there from the Bane, but not good enough.
But when it doesn't work out, you're playing a Bane, and you're like, I will save you, my carry. You just don't have it for yourself. Yeah. To be fair, he probably wouldn't have gotten away either. We're just running down.
Second Roshan time. And that also means a shard. Who wants a shard? Kezu, I'm sure, would love it. Is the Trolls any good? I forgot what... Oh, that's right. It's Rampage. No, let's go ahead and give it to it.
I don't really see Trolls shard that often, so I forget that it exists sometimes.
Yeah, same.
It has a weird sound effect, though, where you feel like you ulted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I do wish that some of the inconsistencies with like audio would be fixed in Dota. It does confuse me sometimes.
Oh, they changed the shard on Lina. I forgot about that. Lina's spells deal 10 more damage for each fiery soul charge. Huh. Yeah, I was going to talk about how useless her shard is, and I'm sure that one isn't great, as we're going to watch Kezu get picked off here. It used to be the Laguna Blade in a line, which I always thought was terrible.
I just want to ping out this nice lane ward that's about to expire, planted by a TSM. It lived out its life and it gave value in the end there. Getting the DP out of the way for 50 seconds is important because you can reclaim some map control. It looks like Quincy Crew just want to run in though and not let them do that, not let them deward and take over the area.
Yeah, they're playing around their vision right now. The long zip in for the Storm Spirit, but doesn't actually cut down the tree. It does go for the kill. Nice black hole catching to it. It caught the Lina, importantly, but they have the Aegis. Can the Troll come in and protect some of this one, or is Quinn just going to walk away with a BKB? It looks like that's what's going to happen. The long zip in from TSM FTX, I thought they were stumbling into a trap there. They're fighting under Quincy Crew's vision, but it seems like TSM FTX had some vision of their own in that area.
Keep in mind that fight happened without the Death Prophet, but Quincy Crew thought that if they caught them off guard, they had the vision, maybe just killed off a few key targets, it wouldn't go that way. But they forgot about Saberlight.
Yeah, and there's that ward on the right-hand side of your screen right there that set it all up. That's why you had that long zip in from Bryle and why they committed so heavily to that fight.
It's a bit sad that Supernova was 1 second away from catching the stun on Lina after Aegis respawn, but 1 second too short, unfortunately.
Yeah, that could have been really big.
But TSM are still very happy with that.
Absolutely. Now they've got a Scotty on the Bloodseeker, so that is going to look very, very nice.
Do you keep in mind that DP was dead for that last fight, and now Black Hole is on cooldown, and DP is ready with her Blink and her Exos, so Quincy Crew can just make an aggressive play here, and looks like they're looking for it. Ooh, haste turn 2 to seal the deal.
Don't forget that Quincy Crew, if we haven't talked about it, the Helmet Dominator pickup, so they will have that Harpy creep for this fight. They're going to have all kinds of vision advantage here. Quincy Crew, trying very, very hard. That was quite the reach. An attempted pick off on a Bloodseeker. Either way, as you're saying, they have the superior team fight right now with the Black Hole on cooldown, so they're just going to force things where they can.
Still 80 seconds of downtime on the Black Hole.
So let's see what else they can get during that period of time.
At least you have the strength of the Storm Spirit and his base zips just clearing the wave, kind of dissuading them from potentially pushing high ground if they wanted to. But it's been really enjoyable seeing the respect that these two teams give to each other, where they don't overextend themselves. We saw that earlier when Quincy Crew was pushing the top tier 2. They did it very slowly to make sure they made no mistakes, and likewise they wouldn't go high ground even though they know the Black Hole is on cooldown. They're not even going to give TSM that inch for them to make a mistake. It really shows that these two teams play against each other a lot.
Oh, they see Quinn! Big, big pickup. Turn around, fast kill. He tried to play for a pickoff with that Shadow Blade, but walked straight into another. And I noticed this earlier on in the series. TSM FTX really likes their laning wards.
Yes, I was going to comment. Duo's ward game is actually winning them the game right now.
Yeah.
That pickoff on the Death Prophet was why they were able to win that fight without it set up for the perfect Black Hole. That counter ward that Dubu also had when Quincy Crew had that cliff ward that they were comfortable with, they were also able to see that Quincy Crew were looking to make a play there. And replace the lane ward, catches the Lina there, just clap.
I feel like Quincy Crew should actually be picking up a gem at this point because, honestly, the last 3 fights, as you just pointed out, have all gone the way of TSM FTX because of the superior vision. So, especially when you're ahead like this, I feel like you want to lock that down.
That's just, I think, Dubu.
Oh, okay, leading off with the stun. Did they get the bashes? No bashes? I mean, if he got a bash, it maybe overlapped with the Monkey King stun, but that felt super unfortunate for Quincy Crew. Oh, mass rotation, okay. I mean, the Troll just used his ultimate. They know where he is. Another great ward that's going to spot out another opportunity if they can catch him. They grab him, pull him back for now. Saberlight, he's closing in, but he's already used his Blink Dagger, and now they're a little bit too far away. They don't want to keep chasing like that. That could have been disastrous for Quincy Crew, and it could have been the 4th fight that goes the way of TSM FTX because of this vision.
Dude, look at that ward game by Dubu. Like, they unfortunately could not get the catch on the Troll, but he's been able to read the movement of this game and the map so well. He's just placing these wards exactly where Quincy Crew would be looking to play. And if that first pickoff and Death Prophet hadn't gone the way that it would, then we would be seeing a different game right now where Quincy Crew actually capitalized on that second Aegis.
Yeah, absolutely. And instead, he seemed to have spiraled it out a little bit on the nice bit of momentum they had. They do have a refresher onto the Phoenix, and trying to start some sort of engagement here. Kezu's gonna pop the BKB. They're gonna turn around, quickly deal with that Supernova. Saberlight not there in time, and immediately gets bashed up. Oh, what a disaster! He is gonna buy back immediately, and Quinn is in some trouble here, but big heals coming out. Bryle, he only has so much mana to work with, and he's not enough to be able to get to the other side of the river. He will fall as well. Uh-oh, TSM FTX. They had nice bit of pick-off going on, nice little team fight. They were feeling pretty good about their comeback into the game, and all of a sudden it all goes terribly wrong.
Troll's got his Abyssal now too. And it's like, he's super scary. This Troll can just be looking to go on the Enigma now if they want to.
Every time.
He doesn't, also Saberlight doesn't know that Troll has this Abyssal, so if he just finds him right now, it's a dieback Enigma and likely a Rax or two.
They don't have that Storm Spirit with 5 Null Talismans to do that cheeky defending anymore, so this is looking like a lane of barracks here. Only way you would stop is if Saberlight somehow tries to put a stop to it with a black hole, but as it is, it seems kind of pointless without your other heroes up. They'll finish off the lane and get out freely and cleanly.
Nice free lane there. Also, the reveal of the Abyssal didn't lead to any kills, so it's a little bit of extra information for TSM, but Quincy are very happy to walk away scot-free after taking that Rex.
Yeah, Saberlight. It seems like a bit of miscommunication, perhaps, between Moonmeander and Saberlight, but he kind of forced Saberlight's hand, and then he immediately gets bashed up by the Troll. Because what we want to be able to see is this black hole covering the Supernova in some way to ensure that it successfully goes off. Quinn, picked up by Bryle, perhaps, BKB, and there was no follow-up stunts. The rest of TSM FTX were a little too far away.
I like that Bryle respected the potential of the Monkey King being in the trees behind the Lina to Boundless Strike him, because that BKB might have looked very random to some people, but you always have to think about what could kill you and what could be there. And if he had gotten caught by a Boundless Strike, then Lina would have just blown him up so fast. Is EXO back up? No, not yet. 10 more seconds on Exorcism, but I mean, unfortunately, TSM couldn't really take advantage of it being on cooldown because they just were stuck on their side of the map. They couldn't go out and get the D-wards, and they needed that pick on Lina to be able to make something more out of it.
Okay. Oh, you are jumping in, found Saberlight! Massive kill, and the rest of the team fight seems seemingly doomed. As Quinn, he does get killed, is focused down by Tomato, but now with that hero, everybody else is healthy. Tomato is slowed down to a crawl. There is no thirst stacks there, and he will eventually be caught by the rest of Quincy crew. Quinn with the buyback there as well, and this is an opportunity for Quincy crew to close out the game, close out the series, and force a 3-way tiebreaker.
It's looking over, you know, buyback and Bloodseeker, no buyback and Enigma.
Yep, they're gonna go straight to the tier 4s. And TSM FTX, what buybacks do you have? Pretty much nothing. Dubu's gonna use his. They're not deterred by that whatsoever. They're like, okay, that's your fight position. Anybody else? The answer is nobody.
Yawar showed some serious killer instinct in this game. He was just going for the kills.
Yes,
Love the Blink Basher pickup. Awesome, really well played by Quincy crew. That was a treat.
Ah, look at a happy Ponlo. That feels good. Good for Quincy crew. It seems like maybe they've got some of their mojo back is just in time, too, to be able to bring down TSM FTX. And again, force a 3-way tie.